All right. I'm not very well. I am fairly prepared. I did some work. I did my homework a little bit. But I don't have a track ready yet. I don't know if I can, if I make a track, if I make a video private, or unlisted, I guess is what I would do. I wouldn't make it private, I would make it unlisted. I wonder if it's still monetized. Wow, everybody's logged in. But I don't know if you saw, but I posted about 30 minutes ago in the Discord a chart for Wildwood Flower. So I did do my work. I actually printed up like a bunch of versions. Like I went through just trying to find all these versions that I could kind of peruse. This one's kind of cool. It's kind of like a banjo version, almost cross-picking forward roll kind of version of it, which is cool. So this one we may do a variation on this. I don't know if we'll do the one that the B section of this. This is probably the one that I most closely emulated. You know, and then also I listened to some versions. So I took all of these versions and then kind of came up with a very, I call this 1.0, Wildwood Flower 1.0, because what I'm going to do is we're going to do maybe some variations on it, or for sure we're going to do some variations once we have it down. And then we're going to also do solos over it, and then maybe do some scales and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to catch up. Everybody's chit-chatting. I'm just an excuse for you guys to hang out, aren't I? You got me muted right now, right? You don't know what I'm saying. I could be saying anything right now and you wouldn't know. If I get really serious, get a really serious look on my face and start talking, then do you unmute me? Okay. Hey, Sam. Hey, guess what, Sam? I used the Bouzouki yesterday. In fact, I'm going to get one of those little ones. What's the little one called, Sam? The little 6-string version. I'm going to go ahead and order one of those, too. So a pro tip here, I sent out a video to my composers. Again, made it private. And I sent it out to the composers just to show them 3 new instruments that I acquired. The Greek bouzouki, the tumbi, and the fretless bass. 3 radically different instruments, except the tumbi and the fretless bass are both fretless, so that's a thing. I guess I'm getting into the fretless instruments. But so I sent it out Friday, and Saturday I already got a session for the Greek bouzouki. He's like, oh, and the fretless too, you know. It's like, okay, so we are listening, John says. BLUEGRASS, that's it, yeah. And I'm sure I'm saying it, but yeah, so I'm probably going to order BLUEGRASS. They're only a couple $100 for a basic one. And I'll probably get from the same guy because he's pretty good service. I mean, it took him a little while to ship it out, but I like sending some US dollars to Greece for actual products and not just like government handing government money. To government, you know, to government officials who don't ever really get it to the public. So I'd rather it be through commerce. So let's see. But I do have a Ruan coming, and I have I've got a 12-string mandolin coming too. So, but that one's, they haven't received it yet. So once Gold Tongue gets it, then they're going to send me one. And they'll send me a blemish one if they have one. So I don't care. and they'll give me an even better deal. So they'll give me an artist rate, but they'll give me an even better artist rate if it's blemished. So we'll see what happens there. But I need that for Star Wars, I think. So I'm going to probably use the 12-string mandolin on Star Wars. And then, so if you go to the Discord, shoot, let me post the link in case you're new. I don't see any newbies here, but that doesn't mean you're not lurking. So we have a Discord where we continue discussions about guitar. Pretty much 99% is guitar stuff, maybe weather too. I saw that. I saw the weather pictures. So this link will direct you if you're a visitor to the intro page. So if you don't mind, make yourself an intro, make an intro, and if you can, use the same name as you're using on YouTube. It makes everything easier. So here's the invite link. All right. Dennis, I should have you post an invite link and see if I can pin it. I don't know if I can pin it. And then Bruce, I watched both of your videos. Very good. I made a comment on one, so you'll see that. Hey, Jeff Hook is here. Good to see you, Jeff. AJ, it was great to see some of you on the Zoom call Friday. That was fun. Got to interact with each other. Probably what I should have done is just hosted it, and then just walked away, muted my screen and everything, just walked away. Hey, Becker, good to see you. Yeah, and notice there is nothing on my screen right now. It's a blank screen. And I thought I had some chord diagrams, but I don't. But the Wildwood Flower, which I posted up, you can download the PDF. Okay, I posted it up on, it says it was copyrighted. The melody was copyrighted or published first in 1860. So I think we're good. Oh, I forgot to delete the word score up there. Sorry about that. The melody is that old. The lyrics are not that old, but I think the lyrics are even public domain. Now, the Carter family did it in G. However, when, I don't know who that was that Ma Carter, who was playing the guitar, she was capoed at the 7th fret and was playing in C also. She was playing it up there, so she was even using C shape, F shape, and G shape to play the song. It's 90% C chord. It's and it's 5-bar phrases. I can actually. Oh, it would be hilarious, but if I do why is that so far away? Probably because I wasn't playing it this weekend, but I was slammed all weekend. So. One of my composers reached out on Friday asking me, or Friday asking me if I was going to be around, and I said sure. I'm planning on watching the game, but I ended up watched the game most of the game, but ended up working most of Sunday. Sorry, my keyboard's really dirty. So let's see if I do. Can I change text? Okay. And then, because I wouldn't mind having the chord progression here. And then what I'll do is I'll just start making this really small. You're like, what? What's IC? Ah, I see. I want to edit. This is poor man's music here. And then it goes to the 5 chord. And then back to the 1 chord. And you'll notice that it starts out with 2 5-bar phrases. So it does this twice. So copy, return, paste. Okay. And then return, paste. It goes to F here. And then it gets rid of one of these. And then it goes back to a 5-bar phrase. All right. So that's basically Wildwood Flower. All right, so you can see we only need to know 3 chords. Unfortunately, one of them is an F chord. Oh, should I bold that? Can I bold it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Oops. So, I could do a different color. See, black wouldn't work though because the pick guard would make it. Oh, dang it. Okay. So, what I want to do is I'm probably going to create maybe I'll do that later today and then post it on YouTube and then put the link. Okay, David. Do I need to turn up my volume? David's guitar is too loud. He can't hear me talking. But there's basically 3 chords. I'll probably try to, before Wednesday, I'll try to do little diagrams for those 3 chords. Although you should know C, G, and an F, and we can play it several different ways. You don't need to be able to do the full bar chord. Don't worry about that. But this one wouldn't be a bad one to do. In fact, a lot of people play C this way, I've noticed, which I'm not a big fan of because I like to have the root at the bottom, but unless it's supposed to have the 5th on the bottom. Because if I want a 5th on the bottom of the C chord, I'll do that. But some people play it this way. And the advantage to playing any 6-string chord is you don't really have to think about the right hand so much. You can just kind of bang away at all the strings. Like if you've noticed on a D chord, you kind of have to pseudo-moderate your right hand strumming pattern so you don't hit all the strings and then you can't really tell what kind of chord it is. Because if you hit all of that, it would be technically a D over E, but you got an E there and an A there, and they're just muddying up everything. It's just like, that doesn't make any sense. So, but, you know, playing a C chord like this isn't a bad thing. It sounds really rich. That's the nice thing about it. And then you could play C with a low E in the bottom, but that's a really leading chord, right? That would have the 3rd in the bass. Definitely sounds like it wants to go to F chord. But just regular old C could go to G or any chord. Now, the melody is fairly simple, but I did some fillers in there. Okay, so if you look at, in fact, I'll pull up the music here. I did screenshots. Where are you? Here we go. Live stream stuff. So I think it's this one. Yeah, bar 1. Boop. Okay, so here's the first bar. Wildwood Flower. All right. When you get to that C in the 4th bar, when you get to that note, that's the end of the melody. Okay, I'm going to lower this a little bit so you can see my hand. And then this, that's just fill. So the next 4 beats there, the C note, the G string, the hammer-on, that little symbol for hammer-on or pull-off. If the numbers are getting lower, you pull off. And if the numbers are getting higher, you hammer on. So in some ways, you know, I always do this when I teach. I may go backwards, or I may, you know, in simplicity, I may go. I may start teaching you something, you know, that's parallel to what you've already learned or whatever. Like this melody is fairly simple. But what I've done is I've added in a new tool or a new element or a new trick, and that's the hammer-on and pull-off. Okay? And so we can practice those, and I can talk about those. I think we maybe in one of my, I don't remember if one of my, well, we talked about hammering on notes in the past, but so in this context, though, in the bluegrass context, we really haven't talked about hammer-ons and pull-offs. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring in something new, because it's such a simple song. And I could have just written it like that. I probably should have. But I want... And the next bar, the next staff is the same pretty much, except for the last two notes. Then it goes like that at the end of the phrase. So the first two 5-bar phrases are almost identical. Okay, so let's do a. Let me get my metronome out, and we're just going to go at 100, which is really, really slow for this song. I mean, Flat Pick Apprentice, his slowest track for this song is 150. Oh, wait, 3, 4. There's 4, 4. So that's a pretty good tempo. And so let's just talk about the chords real quick. So for C chord, you just play the basic C chord. And again, sorry I don't have diagrams, but that would be X, right? X32020, and that would be your C chord. Or if you want, you could do the 332010, right? That's also C over G technically, if you want to play it that way, which is very, like I said, kind of a common way. I'm grabbing it more than I've ever grabbed it. I don't think I ever played that back in the day, but now I'm, you know, on acoustic it's kind of, so that's not a horrible C chord, but this is your basic C chord. You could put your pick up there if you wanted to hear the G on top, but I like hearing open strings when we're doing the bluegrass thing. We'll talk about that little groove there in a second. Okay, then go into the G chord. We can go to this, okay, where we have the open B string, and we're playing with these 3 fingers. Or if you want, you can go reach over and do it this way, or you could play it with 4 fingers. Okay, so those versions. Hey, Ozon, how's it going? So it'd be 320003 or 320033. Those would be 2 versions of the G chord. No B's. Now, so as you can see, we have 2 bars of C, a bar of G, 2 bars of C, and then it does that again. It's a 5-bar phrase. And actually, there are versions of this where they don't go 5 bars. They would go. Yeah, I've heard versions where it goes 4-bar versions. But I think the 5-bar version is more common. It's more old school. And I kind of like it. It's kind of fun, although it does make for soloing a little bit difficult, because you really do want to have that melody ingrained in your head, which is always the case when you're soloing over a song. You kind of want to know the melody of the song first and then build on that. That's true in jazz, and that's definitely true in bluegrass. I mean, your first pass through the song could be just playing on the melody. I mean, that's what... I don't know if that was Ma Carter did in the video I saw. Or, yeah, Dennis, you can play with like that if you want, but I kind of, like I said, I kind of like to hear the open strings. But that one's also a C chord too, yeah. And then the G's, again, could be 4-finger G, a 3-finger G, or you could use these fingers. The reason you would use these fingers is just because of the simplicity of going from C to there, okay? Now the F chord, there's all sorts of versions of an F chord we could talk about, but we definitely want to keep it a triad. So we don't want to do any kind of simplified like major 7th, you know, major 9th with an A in the bass. You know, that's technically a type of F chord. Here, you know, I've got an F chord with a majority open strings. How about that? And it's a beautiful chord. I love this chord. It's a beautiful chord, but it's technically not a pure F triad. This is F major 9th over A. We've got the A. There's our 3rd, and there's our root. Here's our 9th. Here's our 5th, and here's our 7th. So we have a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, all in that one song. Chord, I mean. Mabel. Oh, thank you, Sam. You know what, Sam? I'm wondering if that's a better key. Dang it. I think I can change the key pretty darn easy. I think. And then reprint it. I'm real tempted to do that, Sam. Now that I think about it. I just kept running across it in the key of C, but this with the key of G, we don't have to learn the F. We don't have to worry about the F chord. Let me open up Finale and see if I can transpose it and then create a new PDF. Hold on. Oh, and I don't know if you see behind the neck of my Martin. Do you see something? Do you know what this is? We are going to have an unboxing at the end of the video. I'm not going to film this one because it doesn't. Let's see. Yeah, but I don't want to make it easy for you, Sam. I want you to learn something, right? My goal is not to make it easy, but let me see if I can transpose it. Because if the tab and the music and the chords all transpose at once, and we're golden. But I just don't know if that's going to happen. But I just created this. I did this last night because I was like, oh, dang, I got to do something for tomorrow. So I'm using Finale, which is a chart making software. So you can see, I don't know if you can see that. You can't. No, it's too. All right, let's see if I can transpose the whole thing. Oh. Let's see. I want to go down a 4th, right? It didn't quite do it right. Okay, let me undo that. Let me duplicate this so I have 2 versions. And I can mess up this version. So, talk amongst yourselves. It didn't quite. I can change the melody. Actually have to go down to do it right. Down 4th plus 1 octave. It'd be crazy. Okay, that looks really weird. Yeah, I think this is going to be better, guys. Especially on that higher melody. And now the question is, do I want to get rid of that? Do I want to get rid of the, I still have to change the chords. The chords didn't change for some reason. Okay, now I got to go back up the octave. think that's good. Okay, now I just got to go through and change the chords. That's easy. Change all the C's to G's and all this G's to D. It'll be good though. We have it in 2 keys. That's always a good thing to have. Oh wait, this melody didn't transpose. That's weird. This melody went up an octave. I don't know why that happened. Okay, hold on. Bum bum bum. Oh, weird. Oh, I hate it when it does weird stuff like that. Oh, wait. I know what happened. Okay, undo. Okay. Transpose. Down. Octave. Oh, I forgot to change the key. This has got to be the most boring YouTube video. Let me just look at the live stream, see the numbers. Yeah, see, it's falling like a rock. It's like, oh, this is not even as interesting as watching me eat. Let's see. Dang it. Okay. I know what I should have done. Okay, that's where I screwed up. Dang it. Don't save. All right. I should have transposed. I got to change the key. Chromatically. Yeah, method. I want to go down. Fourth. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this on my own time, I think, because it's not. And then I have to change the key. So let's go to here. Change the key to G. Okay. It's not right. That's what happened. So I have to start by changing the key. It's all right. We're gonna. Yeah, this is what I want. And then turn this down all the way down. Yeah, and I want this down an octave. Okay, well now it changed the chords. Okay, so that actually. Think, let's see what happens if I drag this down here. Yeah. Okay, it's still doing it wrong. Okay, let me go. Let me go down another octave and drag this down, see what happens. There we go. Now go back up the octave. See, it's the weirdest thing when I do the I need to tell it, oh, okay, this looks pretty good. Okay, cool. I think I'm done. I think this is it. Well, we'll find out together. Okay, so you guys you're on are you ready on Discord? If you're up on Discord, I'm going to upload this in just a second. All right, so now we have a version in G. Okay. save, quit. Should have it over here now. Yep, there it is. And then go to, okay, so I'm going to go to, let's see, Tom's Lesson PDFs in Discord, all right? And you should find Wildwood Flower in G, okay? There, and then print this. That's what I get for doing stuff late at night. Now I can go back and edit this part of the video out later if I. It has to process, so I can't do it for like the first 48 hours or 36 hours or so. But there it is. And then if I go. So let me know if you've gotten it. YouTube, live stream, Wildwood Flower in G. All right. So this is how Sam knows it. And to be honest, it makes more sense. Also, it makes a lot more sense considering that we've been learning scales in G. I don't know what, I'm so sorry. I wish I could start this lesson over. I wish I could start this lesson over. Do I still have? Okay. So, and I don't know if this is perfect yet or not, but we'll see. Desktop here. Okay. So I'm going to delete this. Boom. And we're going to reinstall one that's key of G. And of course I have to change this now too. So the C's here are now G's, and the G's are now D's. And the F is now a C, which is great. We don't have an F chord. Now, I should do a whole video on the F chord, and we should work on that if you're struggling with it, because I know a bunch of you are. Everyone is. The B chord is the one that really ticks me off. I hate seeing a B chord. F is no problem. F is easy for me compared to the B chord. Okay, so I've changed the chord progression. I've got this here, and this is now in the key of G. Really low melody. Kind of goes against what I said about soloing low. But we're not going to worry too much about the melody. We're going to worry more about just playing the chords and strumming. And I've not even been looking at any of this dialogue over here. Very chatty group today. I know, it's very chatty, Paul. And then you got the... Now the only drag about this version, and I can fix this later, is that the stupid chords move down to the... I mean, it's not a bad thing to have the chords over the tab. I don't know. Let me know if you prefer it, but and you've got a version now with it, but I prefer not to have the chords written in two places like that. So let's look at the chords then. So we have G. I gotta make this smaller so you can see my hands. I'm gonna sit a little further back. Okay, so and now you can see my face. That's probably a good thing though, right? All right, so G, D, and C. Those are our only three chords in this whole song. It's a 1, 4, 5 progression basically. Just like what we've been doing for the last 9 weeks. This is week 10. believe it or not. But all of our scales that we've learned will work over this song. That's the beauty of it. The only thing we have is the C and the D's are in different places, but it's still a lot of G stuff going on. Okay, so let's do. I've got the metronome here up, or I did before my phone went to sleep. There we go. 3, 4, 2, 2, D chord, G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, again G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, D, G, again G, C, D, D, G, 1, 2, second line, 2, 3, da, da, D, G, extra bar, 1, next line, G, 2, C, 4, G, 2, 4, G, G, 2, D, 4, D, G. Beat, 100 beats per minute. Extra bar, 2, 3, 4. C. D. Coming up. Now, 2, 3, 4, G. Okay, now let's do this. Let's make that slightly more complex. I'm going to get rid of this because we don't really need this here, and then I can adjust the. So that, yeah, delete. All right. Let's try playing just a bass note. Okay. And that's gonna be a little tough on the D chord because you got to find that D string. Okay. So let's practice that. Play the bass note of the G chord, which is this note, and 3 strums. Okay. So we're kind of acting as the bass player and the guitar player. The bass player plays on 1, and then the guitar player plays on 2, 3, and 4. Okay. The idea is eventually we get in. You can kind of do some soloistic accompaniment. Okay. You can get your accompaniment be a little bit busier, and then also ultimately, you know, dun, dun, dun. I kind of like the open B string on the G chord because it sounds a little more old-timey and folksy, a little bit more pre, 1970. So lots of when you do you figure it this way. Oh, Sam, what are you talking about? You talking about when you go to the D. That would just be a G2 chord. But with ultimately, when you're playing this melody, you've got a lot of open strings, especially in the key of G, as we know. You don't really need to play a D chord when you're playing it over the D chord there, even with the fill, because these two notes right there are basically the fifth and the root of a D chord. Yeah, so you don't necessarily, when you're playing the melody and kind of doing a chord melody version of it where you're kind of filling it out, you don't necessarily need to play the full D chord, but I think, yeah, I think that's a little bit, I mean, it's a pretty chord. I think, yeah, if you're just playing these notes for the D, then that might work. But I don't know about having the G and the F, the B and the G on top. It's a little too G-centric for the 5 chord. But if it works for you, I'm assuming you're in standard tuning. Hey, Udayan, good to see you. Hello, sir, to you as well. So let's try this. We're going to go, so on the G, we're going to do G, strum, strum, strum. So hit the bass note. Okay, now let's do it with the D chord. The D chord is going to be the 4th string. Hit that 4th string. Just practice that. And if you hit the A chord every now, or the A string every now and then, that's not a bad thing. Or if you hit the G string with the A note on it, just kind of get in the neighborhood of this D note. It doesn't have to be super duper precise. You'll get more precise as you go, but see, I can pretty much pick out the strings. Also on the G chord, I'm not even playing the 5th string. I'm deadening it when I'm doing that bass thing. Because as soon as I hit the bass, when I hit the bass note of the G chord, I'm not strumming all 6 strings. It kind of defeats the purpose of there being a bass chord or bass guitar counterpoint. You might as well make the bottom string or 2 or 3 be your bass player and the top 3 strings be your guitar player, you know. And I'm not trying to be precisely 3 strings. I'm kind of brushing the top few strings of the guitar. It can be different every time. I could hit 3 strings, 4 strings, 2 strings. On each strum could be a different grouping of strings. It doesn't matter. I'm not being precise. That's one of the problems with tab books. Okay, like when you buy a book, like I did it a million times. I got the Eric Johnson tabs for IV Musicom. You know, I got Larry Carlton and all these, you know, Steve Ray Vaughan and all that stuff. And the guys analyzing it and doing the tab for it, they get stupid precise about, well, you know, when he strummed that 2nd chord, he only hit 4 strings, but then the next time he strummed it, he hit 3 strings. So when you look at the tab and you're going, oh man, how did he do that? He strummed 3 strings this way, and then 3 strings, and then he did 4 strings, and then he did 2 strings, and then he did 4 strings. He's just randomly, how did he go 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, you know? And it's like, he didn't. He was just going, it was like that, but someone with a good enough ear came along and overanalyzed it. Okay, so oftentimes tablature could be way more complex than it needs to be when it's done in analyzing someone else's playing. Does that make sense? So, cue for me. Oh, cue from you, Dennis. You could. Yeah, but it's not very old school. Okay, that to me is almost more like a worship song. You know, you got the kind of drony thing. It's kind of like doing the. And that's great. It sounds great in the key of E, right? I got this big E and a C sharp minor, and I got a B4, and I got an A2. And the top two notes of every string, every chord is the top two open strings. Okay? And that's great for getting that sound, that kind of drony thing going. But it's not very old school. If you were to drop a chart in front of a guitar player in 1950, and it said E, C minor, or C sharp minor, B, and A, he would go. He would play very square, very triadic chords. I'm touching my face so we can take a sip. All right. Don't forget to stick around for the unboxing. I know what it is, but I've never seen one before in person. So this will be a first for me as well. And you can see right there by the wall, by the Harmony Bobcat right there, which I also used yesterday, by the way, on that. So I did a demo for, I was working for a composer, and I did a demo for a cartoon. The cartoon, I played the Greek bouzouki. I played the ukulele guitar, the guitar lele, which was great. We kind of did like a cumbia thing, or I did kind of a cumbia thing, and then that guitar, because I wanted the nastiest, brightest, nasaliest guitar, and we literally put it through an amp with spring reverb and pitch changing chorus, like really annoying chorus, to get this very, very specific sound for this cartoon. So hopefully he gets a gig. He'll pay me regardless, but hopefully he gets the gig, and it's another a kind of recurring cartoon, because I am working on Tom and Jerry right now for HBO. I'm playing guitar on that, and another cartoon for Jablonski. I'm doing. I don't know which one this is. Although I gotta rattle the cage. They paid me for it, yeah. So, and it's unions. Yeah, long narrow box. And it came from Florida, but that doesn't tell you what it is. So it is a musical instrument. It's not adult product. It was like, uh-oh. And I'm like, no, it's not going to be that. Myrtle Aid. now I've got that stuck in your head. I'm so sorry. I should not have said that. And we just went to PG-13. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm a bad man. Okay. So as far as playing the chords, I'm sorry. I think the squarest chords you can play, the better. And I'm even saying on the G chord, I'm even saying playing it like this. Okay. And here's the part of the reason. If you always play like, if you always play your G progressions like that with the top two notes being like that, for one thing, it's a little drony. It gets a little old after a while. It also sounds dated. And by dated, it could mean today, as in today's date. But if you go ahead and learn the squarest chords, now you have the ability to sound like you're going back in time. And I can't tell you how often I'm asked to do that. And there are often times where I'm not even asked to do it, but I want to make things sound a little bit more old school. I was working on. I did two videos, right? The Neil Young one and the John Lennon one, about John Lennon's favorite strum and groove, which was the 6/8. You know, right? And then what was it? The Neil Young groove, and I was trying to find, okay, what is Bob Dylan? Does he have one groove that he really likes? And he really doesn't. He's got a lot of different grooves he uses, even through the ages. So I was hoping I could find one Bob Dylan thing that would come through. But I did notice that he played certain chords a certain way, and it got me noticing that, oh wait, was he one of the first to play G like this? Because I noticed in some old videos he played it like this. Sometimes he played it like this, and I'm like, okay. I've got to do some research on it. I kind of want to know the origin of this version of the G triad, because the problem with this one is really oftentimes you're not playing that fifth string because it's just too muddy. You know, so if you kind of break it down to that, then now you don't even have a third in there. So this could be a G minor or G major. It doesn't matter. There's only G's and D's in there. So just yeah, yeah. I don't. You guys are all trying to guess a lifetime supply of triangles. Yes. No, triangle wouldn't fit in there. It's a razor scooter. Yeah. I have to look it up. I forget what it's even called. So I'm gonna have to look it up. Hope it works. It was pretty cheap, so I don't know. I just don't think you're going to guess it. Let me put it this way. Some of my viewers might be able to guess it. A very, very small fraction of my viewers might be able to guess it. Yeah, I would say definitely that. Yeah, yep. Oh, weird. Use your pinky. Oh, to play the melody? Okay. So let's get back to the strumming thing. Okay, so practice the D chord, D note, strum. Work on that. Try to get it faster. Ultimately, we're going to want to get it pretty fast, but right for now, you can get it at 100. That's where I'm going to record the song, and then you can speed it up on YouTube to go to 125, 150, 175, and 200. Oh, email. Hey, Mitsu. Yeah, I love finger picking. Bluegrass is generally a flat picking, which means playing with a pick. Finger picking. And I'm doing that while holding a pick in my hand. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's go to the C chord. Same kind of thing with the C chord. We don't have the bottom string as the root, so you're going to have to pick out a string. You're going to have to stab a string. So you can just practice hitting that. Try to practice hitting it. You can look down at it and see. You know, the more shallow of a strumming groove you use, the less imprecise you're going to be for doing that. Obviously, I could sit here and pick the C note all day long if I didn't go very far, but you have to strum the chord. So practice that. So originally we just did G, 2, 3, 4, right? But to make it, in an effort to make it a little bit more interesting, we're going to try to play bass chord. So bass, chord. Hey, Flat Potato, congratulations. Happy New Year Day. Happy New Guitar Day. G, one more G and then C. G to D, and D. I accidentally hit the A string there, and it's a little bit more noticeable at the slower tempos. I don't know if that's going to help, but I'll try to get more light in here. I don't know. That might, on the slower tempos, if you hit the wrong bass note string, it's gonna be more obvious. When you're going really fast, you can technically get a little messier. It's almost natural to get messier. You're going slow, people expect to hear more precision. You hit the wrong note in the bass, and it's going to be more obvious. But can get a little bit, it can be a little bit sloppier at a higher tempo, mainly because that's natural to be more sloppy. So, that's something you can practice with this as well. All right. Now let's look at the melody. Okay, so I had this up a second ago, but I took it down. Let me pull it up again. The first phrase. I can just leave it over my face. You don't need to see my face. So I don't know if that's the best way to do this, but pretty much. Okay, now again, remember when we get to that G note, this note here, the bottom third fret, okay, on the bottom string, in bar 4, that's the end of the melody. The other stuff I wrote there, those next few notes up until beat 3 of that last bar, where it goes to the 2, it goes to the B, and then to C, goes back to the melody. Okay, so technically, I may redo this, like another version, like a simpler version. Right, so it'd be 1 and let's see, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Sorry. I took the melody. I'm doing a halftime. So at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's what I've written there. Okay, but if you wanted to, you could stop on that G note and let it just ring out. Okay, so it'd be like this: 1, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You don't have to do that other stuff I wrote in there. That's filler, just to... Okay. I don't have it on the G version, but I think I could probably figure it out. Let's see, how would I do this? That would be like the banjo version of it. That would be kind of like the banjo rolls. That would be a forward roll with alternating picking, or cross picking, I guess they called it, which is interesting. Yeah, but which makes sense, and not economical picking, economy picking. All right, where are you? Okay, Tom, question from me. Oh, do the little tie marks in a tab always mean pull off or hammer on? No, only if the notes are different. Okay, that's the wrong way. Let's see if that works better. Did I do it wrong? I want to go like, no, I don't want to go like that. I want to kind of go like this. Okay. Shoot. Could have just moved me. No, those mean hammer-ons or pull-offs only when the notes are different, okay? Or, yeah, a slide would be a line, but the arch is the... So if I wanted to slide, like from 3 to 5, it would be E to G, and it would have a line, like, at an angle over or under the notes. That would be a slide. A hammer-on, this is it. But if they're the same note, no, it's just, you're just doubling the length. We have a lot of ties in the other music that we did. In our like Pent Up, for example, a tie was just a way of writing a quarter note in the middle of some eighth notes, right? So if the note doesn't change, then it's just a tie. But this is a slur. It's called a slur. But in guitar nomenclature, it's a hammer-on pull-off. And they have this, you can do it in piano too, but it's really, you can see that in piano music, but it's not like they can change how they play D to E. Like, if that tie wasn't there, you would go, okay? You would pluck each note, down, up, down. Well, the difference between a hammer-on pull-off is if the number's going higher, it's a hammer-on. If the number's going lower, it's a pull-off. Okay? We're going to work on that right now. So as we play through this melody, we got, and then again, you don't have to play the hammer. And in fact, I think the melody may be no, it's I think it's that. Okay. This just makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit, but I've seen this pretty common melody device on this song. Oftentimes, if you see that kind of notation too, there's one syllable. So you're singing, if you see it in vocal melodies, it means that you're singing two different notes over one syllable, right? So it could be holly, 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 okay? So that would be oftentimes how you would write that if you wanted to have singers change notes over in the middle of a word to change pitches, okay? So now in tab, I used to write hammer-on pull-off with a caret. We learned, remember, months ago, we learned that upside down V is called a caret. I don't know who taught me that. It may have been you, Holly. Someone smarter than me, so it was probably Holly. Yeah, no, there's no distinction between the marks. Even with the caret, it's still just a matter of, is the note going, the numbers going higher or the numbers going lower? So in the case of the first bar there, it's 0, 2, and open G. Okay? And again, you could pluck each note individually. Okay? And one of the things you want to remember, it's not a grace note. If it were a grace note, it would sound like this. A grace note would be very quick. And that would be written differently. It would be, this note would be a quarter, the E would be a quarter note, and the D would be a little baby note. And it would still have that little arch, but it would be a little teeny baby note, and it would mean this. Okay? But instead, with the two eighth notes and the arch, or the tie, that note means that you want to keep it in time. 1, 3, and 4. Okay? You know, there's no difference in the tempo of the two notes if I pluck them or if I hammer them on. Courgette is courgette? What is that French for carrot? I don't know why it's called a carrot. Bugs Bunny. But when I dragged that music down into the tab, it automatically inserted that. So I didn't really have a choice. I could probably delete it and change it to a caret, because that's an option in Finale. But it also, if I saw that, that would, you know, that slur, it'd be a slur. I would see that as that. You could also interpret that if I was reading music, if it was given to me by a composer, he probably wouldn't know the notation for slide. So if he wrote that, I'd have to say, do you want a slide there or do you want a hammer on? Are those slides or hammer-ons? You know, so a slide from the open string is hard. I could do it. Yeah, see, it doesn't. It's not. Slide isn't going to work in that context. So we've used slides. We could definitely, slides are definitely come into play on bluegrass a lot. But in this context, it's a hammer-on. So we have. Okay, now a couple tips about the slide or the hammer-on. For one thing, again, just to reiterate, it's in time. It's not. Don't try to do it too fast. Okay. Another thing is you want to try to get right behind the fret wire. Let the fret do most of the work. And you really want to use the tip of your finger. You can't. You can't really. If you lay down your finger, you might engage other strings. Okay. I'm hitting the open D string, and then I'm doing that. Now I'm hearing 3 strings. I don't want that. I want one note. And then the other thing is, a teacher told me this. My classical guitar teacher told me this because you do slur studies in classical guitar. Someone was asking if I like to play fingerstyle. You know, in classical guitar we had slur studies, and oh man, your fingers. Oh, I should do the slur studies. It's a good strength builder. I should do a slur studies exercise. Let me put it in my list of YouTube videos. Hammer-ons and pull-offs both. That would be here. YouTube ideas. Oh, I haven't looked at this in a couple. Let's see if I've done some of these. I always forget to save the bad comments or screenshot the bad comments. I gotta remember to do that. Let's see. So slur exercise. Slur exercise. This is gonna sound like I just want to call people names. Yeah, that's not what a slur exercise is. All right. Carrot. Oh, interesting. See, it was you, Holly. Dang it. I knew it was you. Okay. So that's a couple, but what my classical guitar teacher would say, try to drive your finger through the fretboard is kind of what, as far as the energy. And here's the other thing is you can practice trying to do it without plucking it so that you're getting enough energy to vibrate the string even without plucking it. Okay, you'll notice I'm not plucking it, but I'm still getting some sound. It's not as loud as plucking it and hammering on. Okay, I'm looking at it. There we go. But again, tip of your finger, get up against the fret, and try to drive your finger through the fretboard. Now, driving your finger through the fretboard and then having a light touch so you can go to the next note might be counterintuitive, but ultimately, once you hit that note, you can come off of it and go to that open G string. Okay, so practice that. Open D, hammer on 2nd fret, open G. Sam, I am doing, I would call it economical picking right there. Even though it's 8th notes. I'm going down, up. If I had a lot of 8th notes up, if I was doing that lick, say, for example, I would probably stick with pure alternating picking, which means on that hammer-on, I would hit down. That would take the place of the upstroke, and I would hit a downstroke after it. Yeah, so in the context of a phrase or playing fast, I would probably stick with the alternate picking. But you could do down, up. But I'm still hearing downbeats on all of the downbeats. That's why they're called downbeats. And I'm hearing downstrokes on all the downbeats. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we changed it from C to G. Yeah, I may just cut out that whole part of the video. I don't know. and then if I do, then Dash's notation about when it starts will be totally irrelevant. If I get around to it, because the thing is, if I could do it right as soon as we're done, I would do it. Especially the part where I had my laptop out and I was creating a new version. Like I would at least cut that out. But I, but I can't do it right after this. It has to process. And then once I do it, it has to process again. So it's like a 24 to 36 hour phase. And you know, tomorrow night, I'm not going to remember that I ever did this video. All the drinking that occurs between now and no, I'm just kidding. All the coffee that occurs between that. Yeah, we switched from slurps to sips. Slurps. Dennis, your English is so good. I was so impressed. Like slurp is not a common word, you know, things like that. So, and I do have an unboxing coming up. So I've got my box cutter right here, and there's a box in the background. And it came from Florida, but it is not a Floridian instrument. Joseph says there are many variations, and it's all downstrokes on the Carter style. Yes, I noticed when too. And remember, you said Mabel Carter was the one playing the solo. She had a capo, which is really cool because that was a long time ago. They had capos back then. She had a capo, and she's like, you know. Messed it up, but yeah, so even in the key of G, she's kind of playing it in C shapes. And the only reason I did it in C originally, so the original version's in C, then the other version's in G, I uploaded both to the Discord, which is, the Discord is up there, so at the very top I pinned it, so if you're new or you want to go to the Discord quickly, you can click on that link and it'll take you there, and then you can download and print up the paper. But it's all the versions that I found were all in, you know, mostly in the key of C. So I thought, oh, well, maybe it's always in the key of C. But I agree. Playing it in the key of G is easier. Okay, so now let's play this. 1, 2, bum, 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 2, bum, 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 C, B, D. Okay, so now let's talk about the pull-off. So the pull-off, again, same thing. It's not a grace note. It's an actual pull-off. So each of those notes should have a quarter note or an eighth note value. If it was a grace note, again, you would have a quarter note there with a teeny tiny little eighth note with a line through it and a little slur going from the teeny tiny note. That's called a grace note, and that would be more like this. Right? You're only on the first note for a split second. That's a grace note. Okay. Let me do something real quick. A couple things. I have to give myself a reminder to do something. And this is one reminder. And then I've got to put an alarm on my phone for like an hour. Yeah, that'll do it. We'll be done in an hour. Okay, so... And again, this phrase and the next phrase are identical. And again, the melody ends there. The other stuff I wrote, the other stuff there, that's filler. So you're just not sitting there going. Okay, so it's almost more like instructive. It's a lick, and it has a hammer-on in it. So again, I'm trying to kind of introduce the whole hammer-on pull-off thing. And in tablature, again, you might see a caret, Holly. You might see a caret for the if it was tab only, I might use a caret for the pull-offs and hammer-ons. Okay, so let's look at that one here. Okay, now the thing about a pull-off is it's not the same thing. It's not a hammer-on in reverse. Okay, hammer-on, we're basically coming down, like I said, straight down, and we're trying to get right at the fret, and we're trying to drive our finger through the fretboard, according to my classical guitar teacher in college. Okay. But with a pull-off, we're not just pulling off. If you just pull off like that, it's not going to generate much volume. All right. So I hammered on. I came from directly, almost like this, and I went boop, right. But that's a pull-off isn't the opposite. Okay. So that's a hammer-on. Pull-off is not that. A pull-off should be called a pull-down, because basically what you're doing is you're re-plucking the string by pulling it down. And the trick is to not play all the other strings, right? You know, in this context with the open, we're in the key of G. If you hit the D string rings out because you hit it when you pull off, okay, probably not a bad thing. But if you can kind of get it to be a slightly mini motion where you're pulling off and then away. So you do come away from the string, but not right away. First you have to pluck it. And you can start a pull off. You can check your pull off by starting without plucking. See, I got my finger on the second fret of the fifth string on the B note. And I'm pulling off to A. You should hear an A if you do that. Sam, you should be teaching this lesson. Here, Sam, turn on your camera. I'm going to throw it to you. Okay? Okay, so that, you can practice just getting that, and then practice also not hitting the next string if you can. It's hard. Okay? But in the grand scheme of things, it's really, probably not going to be heard, even if you did hit that next string. But the other thing is I'm muting too. I can mute with, see, look, watch this hand now, okay? So I'm gonna hit the B note, and look where my pick is. Where's my pick? My pick's on the D string, right? So I can try that. So play, rest your pick on the D string, now pull off the B to the A. And now you can hit that D string, it's not gonna matter because it's muted with your pick. Okay? Now you do have to get your pick back into position. Hey, Sam, you missed the Zoom on Friday. And if anybody wants to host a Zoom on the Discord and host it, you feel free to do that. If I don't even know have you ever done that before? I haven't seen anything like that up there, but it worked really well, actually. I don't know that I can do it every week. I've already got it I'm already doing 3 of these a week, so I was walking today and I'm like, oh man, I should start going to the gym again. And then I was like, uh-oh, if I go to the gym, I'm going to have to stop doing the live stream. So you guys are just going to have to tell me to stop eating so much. I think if I just stopped eating at 6 every night, I'd be fine. But the problem is I stay up too late working and then I get hungry again. Oh, okay, you had an appointment. All right. All right, so the movie Walk the Line is a life story of Johnny Cash. Yeah, Mabel Cole was Johnny Cash's mother-in-law. Yeah, she was great. They were great. They really loved on him. I mean, that was a good movie. I really liked that movie. I loved how they showed up and even though he maybe didn't deserve it, they gave it to him anyway. And They modeled God's grace. It was a really cool movie. That's as far as we want to get today. Okay, that's as far as we want to get. So we have one hammer-on and one pull-off, and you don't have to. You can pluck it. And again, the tab notation again doesn't really show you rhythm. Now I could have had the tab add rhythm, so there would be rhythm notes above it, but that gets really messy. You know, you would have the very first note would have a stem on it, and the next note would have a stem, and so on and so forth. But it kind of shows you the importance of being able to read a little bit of music. So if at the very least you don't need to read the notes above on the staff, but at least be able to read the rhythms. Okay, those 2 quarter notes, half note, 2 eighth notes, and then a quarter note, half note, and everything has to add up to basically 4 quarter notes. That's why it's called 4/4. 4/4 time is 4 quarter notes. Now you go, well, what about the first bar? Well, the first bar is what's called a pickup or a lead-in. You know, that if that pickup could be a truck, but a lead-in sounds more like what it is. But it's like 1, 2, bum, 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 right? It's kind of not all songs start on 1. In fact, most songs probably don't start on 1. Most songs have a pickup, even if it's a drum fill. You know, pat boon, Debbie boon, boon. It's my favorite drum fill. Pat boon, Debbie boon. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I would say that they definitely were the face of God, the hands of Christ in Johnny Cash's life, and his life was extended because of them. His life would not have. He would have died in the 60s or 70s if it had not been for the Carter family. No worries, AJ. Put on my 3 hairs and get ready for Holly's Zoom. Oh, Holly is zooming. Okay, so here we go. B, C, open D, hammer on D to E to G, and then hit the. And here's the other thing. After you do the hammer on, you got to get your finger off, okay? That second finger needs to come off the string. You can't do it this. You got to go, because the next note is right there. Okay, the next note is the B note on the A string. So that you're going to have to practice. Dennis is going to create a Zoom for scheduling Zoom meetings. What did I just... Oh, no. Did I just... You guys all still there? Sorry about that. I tried to click on an email, and the email disappeared, and I clicked on a... Hopefully you're all still there. It says excellent connection. That's weird. I didn't know I could click away from this window and then click back to it. Let me just see if this goes through. Oh, okay. Cool. That was weird. I'm glad it didn't permanently quit. You'd be like, where'd Tom go? Okay, so that first lick, kind of get that. You can practice that right there. And then there it's easy. C, B, A, and then. Now that one's easier in the sense that your finger is coming off the string, so you're ready to get this note down there. It's the same thing though. We're using that going from the 2nd fret to the 2nd fret. Okay, and then we're ending on the G. It kind of goes against my admonition melody shouldn't be low on the bottom two strings because you can't really hear it. And you're like, well, yeah, Tom, what's up with that? Well, originally I was doing C. Right. I was doing. So that was my lowest note. Now my lowest note is here. However, what did Mabel Carter do? She went here because in that video you've got several people playing guitar and bass, or someone playing bass. Why did she play up there? Well, because that cuts through better, which is crazy because, and she's playing with her, isn't she playing with her fingers on that, I think she maybe not be using a pick on that, if I'm remembering. I mean, she was playing on an archtop guitar, which didn't have a pickup in it because those didn't exist back then. And it really cut through pretty well. I remember doing a, what was the name of the group? Not Lone Justice. I have the record here. Let me look it up real quick. Sorry, hold on. Boop. What was that big Lou Reed hit? Not hit. The song about drugs. Lou Reed. Sweet Jane. Okay. So, it was about heroin. Huh. I thought I had that record on here. Okay. So it's really cool. There's a version of Sweet Jane by Cowboy Junkies. And they, that whole album, I forget what it was called, something Sessions, was recorded with one microphone. And yet there were several of them. They had a drummer and who was playing brushes mostly, a bass player, a couple guitars, and vocals. And what they would do is they would kind of move into the mic if someone was doing a fill or something, they would kind of move in, or whatever. The drums and the bass were kind of in, and it was a stereo mic. So if you put headphones on and listen to it, you can really hear the, still probably should do that. Yeah, I guess. I'm just going to put this down here. You need to keep practicing that. But again, you can download that at the Discord link that I posted there. Okay. I should probably do also upload them to Dropbox. I could totally do that at some point, and then create links. But and so when they played live, I did a gig with them live. I didn't play with them. I played in a band warming them up. They showed up and they had one microphone. It was really cool. They kind of leaned into it and everything. It was stereo mic. It was a great sounding room. It was the Coach House down in San Juan Capistrano, down in Orange County, deep Orange County. I've got to try to find something here. So okay. All right. So I am going to open that package here in a minute, okay? I know you're dying. So, yeah. So we'll see what we're going to learn something together. I have no idea what this thing is going to be like, but hopefully it's good enough to work, to be used. Serge, how's it going? Where's Serge? Oh, hey, Serge, how's it going? Good to see you. so what I want you to do is kind of work on the song, print it up if you can, go to the Discord and you can download this. All right. And like I said, I could throw it up into Dropbox. Let's see. I mean, I like the fact that people go to okay. So here's a Dropbox link for it if you can't do the Discord thing. Oh, thanks, Alex. Good to see you there. So there's the Discord. Hey, Josh, OMG, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. I knew what you meant, Alex. So that's the music. This is just a little screen grab of the first stave, the first five and a half bars of the song. You can download the whole song there at Dropbox. I uploaded it. Should be fine. And so I'm going to open this box now. Like I said, it came from Florida. The main goal is to not cut myself when I do this. And you're like, what is it? It's a musical instrument, I think, kind of. I'm way too cryptic. All right, so that. All right. Well, yeah, it looks like it's working. All right. Looks like it came in one piece. Let's see. Let me cut the tape, I think. Oh, I'm hearing utterances from Discord. All right. Okay, so this is called a goba chant, and this is a soprano one. They make bigger ones. And what it is, all right, I'm gonna have to cut the bag. You're like, I wish I don't have scissors in here. It's from India, and it's yet another friction tuner. It's cool though. It actually looks pretty well made. Believe it or not, that's how it's played. It's got a drum head, which is cool. It's got a little button there that the string is mounted to. So if I break the string on this, I would probably have no way of fixing it. Oh, maybe I would. I don't. How would you? I have no idea. So I better not break the string on this. If you squeeze this, it changes the pitch. So I guess the goal is to get the string tuned open to the note you want and then just undercut it. No, it's actually from India, Southern Asia. And I got the Toombi. That one showed up right away, which is weird. This one took forever, and it was because they shipped it to Maryland. And Toombi's also from the same region, I think, I forget, the Puchand or whatever. Shoot, I can't remember the region. And it's also got a little drum head, and one string, and also a friction tuner. And they put the tape in there. It looks so janky, but it actually works. And it's fretless. I mean, I wouldn't even call it fretless. It's called a broomstick. I like the little ornamentation, though. It came with a little thing that you hang on it, for ornamentation, but it doesn't really serve a purpose. So I lost that, or I didn't lose it. I just took it off. But this is called a goba chant, and this is a soprano goba chant. So gopi chant, gopi Here, I'll spell it out here. G-O-P-I-C-H-N-D. Gopichan. Isn't that awesome? So anyway, that was what was in the box, and I've got a couple more things coming that are probably much more guitaristic, but that's pretty cool. And you know, I'm sure I will use it at some point, and especially once I learn how to play it. It's kind of like a fretless instrument. I mean, it's like a portamento. You know, I can get any pitch, so I can play in any key. I wonder if I could play. Let's see. Yeah, I can't play. I can't play Wildwood Flower on it. I'm trying. Da, 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 da. All right, I'm having way too much fun. That actually, I feel like that one is built much better than the Tumbi that I got. Now I'm kind of disappointed in my Tumbi. But the Tumbi actually is, that I will for sure use, especially if I go on tour with Missy Elliott. I'll use the Tumbi. So I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, I think they were both under $40. I mean, I think the shipping was $20 on both of them. I think the total cost was under $60 for each of those instruments. So, I mean, if nothing else, you could hang these on the wall just because they're cool, right? I mean, if I opened an Indian restaurant, I would buy a bunch of these kind of things and hang them on the wall. So, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, definitely. Now, the problem is, where do I put these? I've got to store them. You know, they don't have cases. Could spend $180 on a case for a $40 Tumbi. So do I hang them up? These are small enough that I can hang up, but I'm not even sure how to attach what I want to, how I would attach something to it. So, so that, may not happen. I don't know. I'll figure out, or I may just build a shelf and to put these kind of things on, because I do have all these African instruments too that I, that one's hard to play. This one's actually legit. This one's from Africa. And that sounds really good. I like the sound of this one. And this was one that my mom brought back from Kenya back when I was in high school, which is really, really cool. And I said, oh, that's cool, Mom. And then, it even came with a hanging thing on it. That was already there. I didn't think I'd ever use it. And I used it in a movie last year. So, and then she also brought this one. I think she bought this one first and then realized this one is like almost like a toy or a child's version. I like how it's hollowed out though. It's really cool. I always love the smell of wood. But yeah, that one just doesn't work very good. So then she bought this one because oh, this is the real thing. This is what I want. She saw him playing it. And so she bought this one. I love the burned wood ornamentation on it. Totally legit. And then she brought back a bunch of stuff. It's pretty cool. That's how that's played. And then this thing, I'm afraid to open this thing up. Because it's from Africa. There could be some really crazy bugs inside here. Probably shouldn't have brought this to California. But yeah, she brought this back to me again in the 70s. I love the ornamentation on it, but it's just a shaker. But a very quiet shaker. So whatever seeds are in there have bloomed. So on that note, I'm going to take off because I got things to do today. It's been such a crazy, that's good. I like being busy. What am I supposed to? Oh, I need to do a jam track, and I probably won't post it publicly. So I will just post the link here. It'll be a private link. It won't be private. I just won't. It will be unlisted, and we'll see if I can monetize that. Unless I do I mean, it doesn't. It just needs to be guitar. So maybe I will post it, but I just want to be careful because if I post too many videos and people get too many notifications, then they unsubscribe. Okay, so if I post it publicly, you'll know. And I may record this. And again, I probably just do one guitar. I could probably, if I could just play it, like, I don't know. I would probably try to play it for 10 minutes or maybe just loop it. But you know, if I'm not going to be doing two guitars and bass and drums and everything like that, then I don't really need to. I might put bass on it just for fun. But erhu, yeah, Chinese erhu. That's right. Yeah, it's a cool instrument. So we'll see. I may get an erhu. Actually, I'm probably going to get a shamisen. It's so funny because I've been watching videos on shamisen, which is a fretless Japanese instrument played with a really big pick, and they hold it really awkwardly. And I'm like, really? That's how it's played? I'm like, gosh, I'm just real tempted just to get a pick out and go, ring, 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 you know. But it's fretless also. And they were playing like I was watching this video where they were playing like a $20,000 one, and they were playing a $300 one, and they did the blind taste test, and I was like, the $300 one sounded better to me. So I was kind of like, you know, I may get one of those too at some point. I'm discovering that Etsy is a really good place to find weird instruments. Let's see. That's where I now have I gotten anything from them yet? I don't know. No, I got the Greek bouzouki from Reverb, and I'll probably go back to Reverb to the same seller and buy that thing that Sam keeps telling me the name of, and I keep forgetting. Oh, thank you. No, I just improvised it, Sam. I was just messing around, you know, using what is the fifth mode of harmonic? What was I in? D harmonic? No, C harmonic minor. It's fairly in tune right now. So yeah, I was just basically playing the fifth mode of. You know, the Baglama. Baglama. Yeah, so I'll probably order a Baglama too. The thing was, on the session I was doing, I was really having to play high. I think I used that note. Or no, maybe this, yeah, it was that note right there. So I had to play pretty high. Do I have the music for that still? Yeah. Here are the instructions. And then this was electric guitar, the bouzouki. But it was actually written down. It was down an octave from where it was played. So he wanted it up an octave from this, but that was the music. Dun, 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 dun. And it's really fast. Like it was for an animated TV series. So we'll, sip, changed instruments. Oh heck, you've been taking a lot of sips. I've been changing. You've been paying attention. I played the tumbie. I played the. Oh dang it! What's it called? I'm gonna have to memorize the name of this stupid thing. Where'd it go? Oh, Gobi-chan. Gopi-chan. Gopi-chan. So I've got some videos up, and I'm gonna watch how to play it. But there are different sizes of them too, and it looks like that's basically how you hold it like this. But you're pretty much that whatever note that is your top note, and then you can only go below it by squeezing. So it's a different way of thinking about playing music. Is to go, okay, what's my top note going to be, and going from there. Now that is one of the tricks I use when I'm reading music. When I get handed music, I look at the top note in the chart like I scan the entire chart. I try to find the highest note and I find the lowest note, and I look and see if there's a place on the guitar that contains both of them. So it's a high C and a low A, then I know that I can play the whole song right here without ever having to move my hand, which really is helpful when you're trying to sight read music and you don't want to look down at your hand. You can just keep your eye on the music. You can keep your eyes on the music and never move your hand position. So that's one of the tricks of sight reading. Hey, Leon, good to see you. Louisiana's in the house, and I'm about to sign off now. So so we'll pick up from this. We're going to be in the key of G. We started in the key of C, so we're going to do the key of G for Wildwood Flower. We're going to work on that melody some more. I may do another version of this that's simplified that gets rid of those licks, okay, at the end of the phrases, so you can see that you don't have to even think about that stuff. Because I really want you to kind of concentrate on the melody more. And then what we'll start doing is doing some variations on these to kind of fill them out. Either with melody in there or variations that for soloing, we may do some solos over it and everything. So it's not a very common chord progression. The fact that it's a 5-bar, 2 5-bar phrases and a 4-bar phrase and a 5-bar phrase. If we got rid of those 5-bar phrases, you could totally play the song without those. But historically, it does tend to give that breath. That's really, really common. But I have seen versions that were right, goes right back into it. Probably was done more for vocals, so singers can get a breath in. But yeah, but you can always get a quick breath in. So, all right. Try "Come As You Are" on the Gopichan. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I can't even play "Happy Birthday" on that. So, all right. Okay. So you can download. I did post a link so you can download this this version of the song. This one here on Dropbox. It's also at the Discord, so you can check it out there. And then, oh, hey David, good to see you. Good to see you on Friday. It was great to see your place there in Scotland. It was awesome. Very impressed. I will. Hopefully, Lord willing, I will be here Wednesday. If not, I will try to let you know on Discord and maybe even on the Facebook page, which I'm never on. I need to do more there, I suppose. But anyway, it's good to see all of you. Paul, it was great to see you on Friday as well. And Holly, everyone that tuned Dennis, everyone that tuned in. Bruce, I watched your videos, Bruce. I subscribed. I'm your first subscriber on YouTube. You just need 999 more and you can start monetizing, man. Hey, you never know. You never know. Make sure what you're doing in the video is in the title of the video, and that will help you attract people. I don't know if you set it to private or not. Well, no, you didn't set it to private, but you may have set it to unlisted. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. I hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, and I'll see you